warm welcome to the Braehead Arena here in this magnificent city of Glasgow, Scotland. Tonight, Frank Warren's Sports Network, www.frankwarren.tv, Braveheart Security and Verve proudly present 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Welcome to you, the viewers watching this broadcast once more, live and exclusively on Sky Sports. The officials have been appointed by the World Boxing Organization and the British Boxing Board of Control. Supervisor for the WBO at ringside is Mr. Luis Perez. British Boxing Board of Control student in charge, Bernard Connolly. Timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Ricky Gilmore from Glasgow. The three scoring judges at ringside this evening are Renato Cadio from Italy, John Coyle from England, and Harry Davis from Canada. Finally, when the action commences, the referee in charge of the action, a warm welcome please, a man taking part in his 40th world title contest from Brooklyn, New York in the USA, Mr. Samuel Featherweight. And so, people of Glasgow, Scotland, live from the Braehead Arena, this is World Championship Boxing! Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the red, blue and orange coloured shorts. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 8 stones, 13 pounds and 10 ounces. His record this evening stands at 28 contests, 23 wins, 12 of those wins coming by way of knockout, only 4 defeats and 1 draw. He comes to the ring as the current NABO featherweight champion and is the #1 rated contender by the WBO, presenting the challenger from Las Vegas, Nevada, in the USA via Armenia, William Abelyan. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the solid black shorts trimmed with gold and yellow. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 8 stones, 13 pounds. His excellent record this evening stands at 24 contests, 21 wins, 11 of those wins coming by way of knockout, only 2 defeats and 1 draw. Tonight, making the second defense of his championship, presenting the 2-time WBO featherweight champion of the world from Cambuslang in Scotland. Here is Scott, the real McCoy Harrison. The referee, Mr. Featherweight, will now give his final instructions to both boxers. 12 rounds, championship boxing.
Mr. Abelyan, I give you the instructions in your corner. This is for the World Boxing Organization featherweight title. I want to see a good, clean fight. Any questions? Touch your mat, protect yourself at all times.
Well, Frank Maloney's quote was interesting in the dressing room. There's a lot of concern, he said, in the Harrison camp about this. If he had the choice, this is not a fight he would have chosen for Harrison. There's something about Abelyan's style, quick, elusive, which could be a problem. And he is a southpaw, remember, and Harrison has had problems with southpaws in the past, certainly in the last 3 rounds of his last fight against Walter Estrada. But is Abelyan going to be good enough, and is he going to be big enough, and is he going to be elusive enough to stay out of the way of a man who's probably a lot rougher, tougher and stronger at the weight?
Well, Abelyan's complaining already. I think he was caught in the shoulder. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's pulling a face to the referee. What that was about, I do not know.
Grimly determined as ever, Scott Harrison. Massive support for him in Scotland, where he is big news. The back pages of the newspapers up here full of it today. Needs to spread the word south of the border as well. In the black trunks, Scott Harrison.
Well, first impressions, Ian, he doesn't look to be a runner. He just likes to use range, a little half step back, so that the other fellow still throws the punch and then counter it. Stands his ground. So, first impressions, in for a good battle here.
Abelyan, who caused a real shock against Guti Espadas, coming in at 4 days' notice in Las Vegas. and beating the former WBC champion. Only a couple of fights after he'd lost the title against Eric Morales, that was as well. So that was a big sensation, and he's taken it on from there as well. Good uppercut on the inside from Harrison.
That was a better left hook from Harrison. That was a beauty, followed by right hand.
Abelyan might be in trouble in this fight if he's too easy to hit.
Well,
Doesn't look as quick as we were told, does he?
Well, he's not as defensively minded as we're told, but nothing wrong with his chin, because that left hook was a peach.
Right hand and a left again from Harrison, and an uppercut. This is a strong, hard man of the ring, this Scott Harrison.
This is a dream start for Harrison. Harrison must have expected a couple of rounds before he would catch this fellow. He's caught him with blinding punches already.
Abelyan was full of big talk before the fight. He said the ring is my home, and Harrison's not welcome there. He's a robot. I'll outbox him. No signs of that kind of thing yet. Harrison's made the better start. Harrison told to keep his shots up by the referee, Sam Braehead of the United States.
I mean, Abelyan's only seemed half at it in the first round. I mean, maybe he's the one who wants to have a good look at Scott Harrison. I thought it may have been the other way around. But Harrison finding the target, and again, and again.
The extra size and strength of Harrison likely to be a big factor, unless Abelyan can come up with a bit more by way of speed and lateral movement. Needs to be cleverer than this, you'd think. Doesn't want to be in front of Harrison, who's finding him a pretty easy target, some would say ominously so.
Well, I think the smart stuff came from Scott Harrison in the first round. He was the one taking his time, waiting for the chance, and every time a chance came, taking full advantage of it. He was the cagey one in the opening round, so that was an excellent opening round. This may be the left hook, that was the one, that was a beauty. Abelyan took it well, but he was far too open, get caught with a couple of right hands. There's the left hook again. But Harrison didn't waste any punches. I thought maybe the problem would be finding this fellow, pinning him down. But a good economical, solid first round from Scott Harrison. Wins it on my card, well wins it on my card.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about that at all, Jim. Harrison won that opening round. Abelyan's been out of the ring for a year as well, waiting for this opportunity. Harrison's camp was saying at the press conference the other day that was because he didn't want to risk his #1 status, but that could work against him.
Yeah, and that's the difference in between the two fighters. When Chacon called off against Harrison, he took a dangerous fellow, Santiago, in a week's notice. He's prepared to fight anybody, anytime, and that may just be the difference here tonight.
Wearing the colours of his native Armenia, red, blue and orange. Abelyan, though he hasn't been in Armenia since he was 9 years old, left just after a massive earthquake there, and has settled first of all in California, now Las Vegas. Confident kind of kid, and this is something else again. Now, this is better speed at the start of this round from Abelyan. I think he just had a few harsh words in the corner from his team, led by trainer Don House.
Yep, the jab scoring here at the beginning of the second round. Harrison just caught at the wrong range, just not getting close enough.
Did he just freeze a little bit in that first round, Abelyan?
Yeah, it appeared to me he was just a little bit too casual. I think he is a confident type of fellow. He was just too casual in the opening round. Bit more urgency now.
Needs to be throwing punches and then getting away again, you'd think. Abelyan, nice stiff jab from him. There's a whole history of Scott Harrison having a difficult time with southpaws, going back to when he lost in the Olympic trials to David Berg.
The jab definitely giving Harrison problems in the second round here.
This is more what we expected to see, though. Harrison marauds away close in, but now we're seeing Abelyan playing the matador a wee bit more in the manner we expected.
See, Harrison cannot allow this fellow to dictate the tempo of the fight. Harrison has to be the one pushing, the one forcing, but he has to do it in a sensible manner. Exactly what he was doing in the first round. Getting caught with counters here.
Badly outboxed there, jab, left hand from Abelyan. He's got quite quick hands, he's reasonably slick. Some would say this isn't the right style for Harrison, who can be outboxed and has elected in more recent fights to be so much more the marauder. He can box as well, Certainly was in his days as British and Commonwealth champion, and on the way through, beating former world champions like Tracy Harris-Patterson and Tom Johnson.
Well, Harrison was really impressive in the first round, but so far, Abelyan equally impressive in the second.
Yeah, big improvement from the challenger. Seemed to respond to whatever they said in the corner.
Harrison's just been a little bit too predictable in the second round here. Abelyan seems to know what he has in his mind before he tries to do it. There's the left hand landing now. Well, beautiful boxing here, Ian.
Yeah, he's boxing to the strategy, which could win him the fight if he can keep this up and stay away. This is fascinating now, because that was Abelyan's round in a big way. Big way. Totally outboxed Harrison in round 2. And Frank Maloney, sitting right in front of me, looks worried. There is Frank Maloney, who looked a bit thoughtful at the end of that last round.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a round that I would expect Frank enjoyed too much. I know the Scott Harrison camp didn't enjoy it. So he wants to turn this back around as soon as possible.
Can hardly wait to come out for round 3, Harrison. He bounced out of his corner almost like a sprinter coming out of the blocks there. Wanted to get back to work and reimpose himself. Quite quick hands. The Armenian with a right hand has caught him, and down he goes. The right hand, and a breakthrough in this topsy-turvy fight for Harrison. Abelyan in trouble in the third. Can Harrison capitalise on that? There's a long time left in the round, nearly 2.5 minutes.
Harrison wants to settle down. Don't waste a lot of worthless, needless energy. The chance will come. It's come a couple of times already. Settle down.
He's getting in with some big hooks now, is Harrison. He's got a rather bewildered look about him, Abelyan, at this stage. And his chance could drift away. Crowd on their feet at ringside. Tasty atmosphere in this Braehead arena. What next?
Abelyan's head is too high here. He's poking out that jab, but his head is just what Scott Harrison wants it to be. Coming back with nice punching now, though. I think his head has cleared.
Great uppercut, wasn't it, from Abelyan? But he was in trouble there for about 45 seconds. Harrison gets through to him again, and Abelyan reels back against the ropes. Here comes the next assault. Can Harrison finish it here? A left hook. Down goes Abelyan. Is in deep, deep trouble in the third. Down for the second time in the round. He's groggy. Man at 8, he looks at his corner. He's in trouble. There's still 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the round. He's going to be taken out here, I think. The referee stopped it. All over in the third. Great win for Scott Harrison now in 3 dramatic rounds. That was one of his best.
That was a fantastic performance and a fantastic result for Scott Harrison. If he'd knocked this fella out in the first round, we would have thought what a big disappointment Abelyan was. But Abelyan showed in the second round the quality he had, the ability he had, and the toughness he had. And the way Harrison came back out in the third round and totally dominated him, that was a genuine world-class performance.
Big statement that from Scott Harrison, and that was the kind of performance that just might send 1 or 2 reverberations around the scene in America, where they have the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez, the great Mexican, Barrera and Paulie Ayala, who meet tonight later on. Yes, I think Harrison can think about those kind of fights. This was really impressive because he'd been in trouble in the second.
Yeah, but it showed you the way Harrison can turn fights around with one punch, and that right hand totally robbed Abelyan of everything he had. He was up, he was looking at his corner, he was confused, he was hurt. He felt the full power of Harrison's punches, and I think he knew at that moment there was nothing he could do about it.
He's such a strong featherweight, Scott Harrison. Abelyan was blown away. I think one of the problems he had is the initial trouble in that round came so early, didn't it? He had such a long time to last.
Yeah, and Harrison was in no trouble whatsoever. He knew he was one punch away from victory at this point. He took his time, he had to let the punches flow, but he knew as soon as he landed cleanly the job was done. You can see, looking at Abelyan here, nothing left.
Great shot from Harrison. You've got to admire the way this gritty man finds a way to win every time.
Yeah, but, and as I say, I'm delighted it didn't happen in the first round, because we did see this fella was a class operator. He was #1 contender. So now that Harrison has the mandatory out of the way, he can maybe spend the rest of the year with a couple of voluntary fights. And look at this, look at the finish here, just pours. This is where the physical strength of Harrison would give any featherweight in the world trouble.
He was out of it, wasn't he, by then? And remember, I think in the second round we'd seen what a dangerous fight this could have been for Scott Harrison. Great answer in the third from him.
Yeah, well, he had to come out and turn it around. I didn't expect a stoppage in the third round, but I realised Scott had to turn things around. And did he do it in fine style or what?
He really did. That's what it meant. Frank Maloney was a worried man a few minutes before, after that second round, when he saw his man get outboxed and outspeeded. Billy Nelson joins in the celebrations, and well might they celebrate. That was impressive from Scott Harrison, who deserves his place right up there among the best featherweights in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute and 45 seconds of round number 3, referee Samuel Featherweight has called a halt to the contest. In his opinion, the challenger William Abelyan was in no position to continue. Your winner, and still the WBO featherweight champion of the world from Cambuslang in Scotland, Scott "The Real McCoy" Harrison. The appreciation, please, for the challenger William Abelyan. The WBO supervisor, Mr. Luis Perez, has now presented the winning belt to the champion, Scott Harrison.
Sweet indeed here. Gets better, doesn't it? Scott Harrison carries the banner for Scottish boxing. We'll speak to him in just a moment or two. Lots more action from here tonight. Inspirational, surely, for young fighters like Gary Young to be part of this. Unbeaten light welterweight in action tonight against David Kirk. And also at lightweight, we'll show you Barry Hughes in action against Nigel Senior. But this is Harrison's night, very much so. WBO champion still. Let's hear from him now.
A sizzling, emphatic defence of your world featherweight title. Did you mean a real serious statement tonight?
I believe I'm the best featherweight in the world right now, and it's just all about proving it. I'm looking for a unification fight. I was the #1 contender for the WBO title, and I stopped to win about, I don't know how many rounds it was, 3 rounds or something. So I'm looking for a unification fight, and I'm ready to go to war with anyone.
It was a strange first couple of rounds. You had a great start. He came back at you and showed skill, and then you turned it all around again.
What we were looking for is a straight right through the middle, double right hands, and that's what put him down, that's what done the damage. And it was just for them, it was just a matter of time, but we've been working long and hard in the gym on the straight right, and it paid off for night, so it was a good performance.
A fight a long time in the making. There was plenty of needle between the pair of you. Was it a case of keeping a cool head tonight?
It's all about controlled aggression. At the press conference, that's just a part of your job. You're in the fight business, so sometimes it gets heated in there, especially press conferences when you're